Miriam in the Desert by Jacqueline Jules, illustrated by Natasha Ugliano. "I'm thirsty," a woman groans. "In Egypt we had water," a man grumbles. We are Israelites. After crossing the sea and escaping Pharaoh's armies, we are wandering in the desert with Moses as our leader. There are so many people and animals that I can't see the end of the line or the beginning. But I can see my grandmother Miriam. Like a butterfly visiting flowers, she weaves in and out, comforting everyone. God did not free us from slavery in Egypt to let us die of thirst, Miriam assures them. She points to a pillar of clouds billowing in the sky. By night, the cloud turns to fire. It is always with us, leading the way. The cloud makes me safe, I tell Miriam. God is protecting us, Bezalel, she answers. My throat feels as if it is lined with sand. I pick up a stone to draw clouds and raindrops in the parched earth. Finally, we arrive at a place called Marah. There is a spring, but the water is bitter. "Give us something we can drink," the people demand. Moses picks up a piece of wood and drops it into the water. One of the men takes a sip. "Now it's sweet." Miriam raises her tambourine. The women join her, singing and dancing. "Miracles, miracles, praise God's might. We see miracles day and night." I watch their scarves swirl in circles, remembering how my grandmother led the celebration after we crossed the sea on dry land. We leave Marah and trudge on. The wilderness is barren, with rocks and sand in all directions. "Where are we going?" I ask Miriam. People say she is a prophetess, a wise woman who sees God's plan. "To Canaan," she answers, "where our people will live in freedom." The journey goes on. More rocks, more sand, more complaining. "We're hungry," a woman shouts. "When we were slaves, we had food," a man joins in. My stomach rumbles. I pick up a stick and draw some grapes in the sand. "We will eat soon," Miriam promises. The next day when we wake, something glistens on the ground. It looks like shining pearls. "Taste it," my grandmother smiles. "It tastes like bread," I say. "To me it tastes like honey," Miriam says. The flavor is special in each person's mouth. Once again she raises her tambourine. "Miracles, miracles, praise God's might. We see miracles day and night." We're no longer hungry or thirsty when we travel. In the morning, we gather the miraculous food called manna. And at night, when we camp, a rock spouts a fountain of water. We call it Miriam's well, in honor of my grandmother. But the grumbling goes on and on. "It's hot," a man complains. "This journey is endless," a woman whines. When will they trust in God?" I ask my grandmother. "Soon," she says. "We must be patient." The pillar of clouds leads us on through the desert. Whenever I can, I walk beside Miriam, and whenever we stop, I draw pictures in the sand. Bezalel, my grandmother says, God has made you an artist. On the third new moon, we reach the foot of a mountain called Sinai. Get ready, Moses tells us. Purify yourselves. Put on clean clothes. 3 days later, I wake to thunder and lightning. Miriam takes my hand, and we follow Moses to the foot of the mountain. Smoke billows amid giant flames. The mountain shudders and shakes. A shofar sounds, growing louder and louder. Even my toes tremble. Then, just as I think my ears will burst, everything grows still. Not one baby cries. Not one sheep bleats. The earth feels as if even the worms below have stopped wiggling. We hear a voice that comes from the east, the west, the north, the south, above, below, everywhere at once. I feel as if I am being lifted off the ground. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. Everything God commands, we will do, we promise together. That night, everyone talks about the voice at the mountain. It was so strong, one man says. It whispered to me, a woman says. God spoke to each one of us in the way we understood best, Miriam explains. The next day, Moses climbs the cloud-covered mountain. God has called him up while we have been instructed to wait. Moses will bring us 2 stone tablets, Miriam tells me. They will contain God's laws. They will be holy, I whisper. We will need to place them in something safe and beautiful. My grandmother puts her arm around me. Something made by an artist? Me? I ask in surprise. Yes, Bezalel, she answers. God has chosen you to build an ark for the 10 Commandments. In my grandmother's eyes, I see the future. Everyone is bringing gifts and working together to build a place where we will worship God. And Miriam is dancing with her tambourine. Miracles, miracles! Praise God's might! We see miracles day and night.